Start something. You feel me? When we not on no negativity from now on, man. We not doing that. I'm just here to be positive, and I don't speak on anything negative, you know. So that's the new wave. That's what we going forward with. Anything negative, we not talking about it. We not speaking on it.
Not judging the Browns for the decision. That's entirely a football move.
Yeah, I think whatever Kevin Stefanski says is fair because it's Kevin Stefanski's team and it's his process. I also think it's extremely obvious that Kevin Stefanski doesn't mess with Shedeur Sanders the way the outside public believes that he should. When you think about this process, it feels that Kevin Stefanski wasn't ready to draft Shedeur Sanders, and then upon drafting him, he didn't put a plan in place to handle the person. You have to understand with Shedeur Sanders is going to come more media attention, more scrutiny. He's going to be treated unlike anything else in that locker room or anything else we see in the league based on his position.
What's going on, everyone? Cleveland is officially on fire right now because this Dillon Gabriel experiment has turned into a full-blown disaster. This so-called master plan that Kevin Stefanski has been defending with his last breath, yeah, it's time to pull the plug immediately. And this isn't just some spicy take for clicks. After what went down in New England and the brutally honest press conference that followed, even Stefanski himself knows this thing has hit rock bottom. Right now, the Browns are drowning in chaos. You can practically feel the panic spreading through that locker room. The fans are furious, the front office is tense, and the entire city of Cleveland is side-eyeing every decision being made. This isn't just a bad stretch, it's a full-on meltdown happening in real time. If you missed the game against the Patriots, let me break it down for you. It was painful. We're talking about one of the worst quarterback performances of the entire NFL season. No exaggeration, no hype, just straight up ugly football. Dillon Gabriel looked completely lost out there, like a guy who somehow wandered into an NFL field by mistake. He missed reads left and right, made head-scratching decisions, and threw passes that looked like he was aiming for the defense. It wasn't just bad, it was embarrassing. Kevin Stefanski has finally hit the wall, and it's not pretty. The same coach who's been stubbornly defending Dillon Gabriel week after week, the same guy who refused to even think about giving Shedeur Sanders a chance just got fully exposed on national TV. This little experiment he's been clinging to has officially blown up in his face, and there's no saving it now. Gabriel's been figured out, and the whole league knows it. The film doesn't lie, the stats don't lie, the scoreboard definitely doesn't lie. And after that awkward, soul-crushing press conference, even Stefanski couldn't fake his way through another round of excuses. You could see it on his face. He knows the walls are closing in. Honestly, I'm convinced this man's days in Cleveland are numbered. There's just no way he's coaching this team next season, not after this mess. Let's keep it real for a second. When you're sitting at 2-6 with a roster packed with real talent, that's not bad luck. That's bad coaching. You've got an all-pro defensive in-breaking franchise records, and you still can't buy a win? That's not just poor management. That's straight-up football malpractice. Stefanski's refusal to make changes is the kind of arrogance that gets coaches sent packing. And that game, it was a full-blown humiliation. The Patriots didn't just beat them, they owned them. Final score, 32-13. And honestly, it felt way worse than that. New England controlled the tempo from the opening kick, while Cleveland looked like they were running in slow motion. Dillon Gabriel's stat sheet might show 2 touchdowns, but let's be honest, those came in pure garbage time when the game was already over. And those 2 interceptions, oh man, they weren't just bad, they were downright embarrassing. Both were brain-melting decisions that killed every ounce of momentum Cleveland tried to build. These weren't flukes, they were flat-out disasters. Let's talk about those picks. The first one, Gabriel literally threw it straight to a linebacker who didn't even have to move. The dude just stood there like, thanks for the gift. The second one, somehow even worse. It was so poorly placed that the defensive back had more time to line it up than any Browns receiver did. These are the kind of mistakes that get quarterbacks benched in high school, let alone in the NFL. It's wild to think this man is leading a pro offense right now. Meanwhile, on the other sideline, Drake May was out there putting on a clinic. The rookie looked calm, sharp, and deadly accurate. Basically, everything Gabriel wasn't. May went 18 for 24, a smooth 75% completion rate that Gabriel could only dream about. He racked up nearly 300 yards, tossed 3 touchdowns, and even though he had 1 pick, it didn't matter. The difference between the 2 quarterbacks was night and day. May looked confident and in total command of his offense, while Gabriel looked like a man seeing ghosts. He was nervous, inaccurate, and completely lost from the opening drive to the final whistle. Cleveland got outplayed, outcoached, and completely outclassed in every phase of the game. Just let this sink in. One single player recorded 5 sacks in one game. 5! That's not normal. That's generational dominance right there. Performances like that only happen once or twice in a superstar's entire career. Garrett was a straight-up beast out there, completely unstoppable, wrecking the Patriots' offensive line like it was made of tissue paper. He did everything humanly possible to drag this team toward a win. But even a one-man wrecking crew couldn't save Cleveland because that offense was beyond broken. It wasn't just bad, it was painful to watch. Dillon Gabriel looked lost again, every drive collapsing like a house of cards. There's no sugarcoating it, no explaining it away. It was flat-out ugly football. At this point, the Browns have no choice but to unleash Shedeur Sanders. Enough is enough. No more ifs, no more maybes, no more we'll see. The whole world's seen enough of Dillon Gabriel to know he's not the answer. The Browns have already wasted too many games clinging to this broken plan. It's time to see what Shedeur can really do, because if Stefanski refuses to make the switch now, then maybe it's time for a whole new coaching staff too. And that post-game press conference? Painful doesn't even begin to cover it. Stefanski walked up there looking like a man who'd already cleaned out his desk. His face said it all. He knows he's on borrowed time. Stefanski stepped up to that podium, voice low and shaky, saying, "We're frustrated, but we'll win as a team. We'll lose as a team. We'll use this bye week to look at everything and figure out how to get this thing going with more than half our season left." He tried to sound confident, but everyone watching could hear the exhaustion hiding behind those words. That opening line said it all. He's lost. He couldn't even look reporters in the eye. Eyes down, shoulders heavy, mumbling into the mic like a man who already knows the end is near. That's not the voice of a leader in control. That's the voice of a coach trying to buy time. When a head coach starts tossing out lines about evaluating everything, that's the NFL's version of waving a white flag. It's basically coach speak for, "I'm out of ideas and hoping no one notices." Then, one reporter hit him with the real question. What does "look at everything" actually mean? And Stefanski's answer? Oh, it was telling. He said, "When you lose like this, you have to look at everything. Every position, everything I'm doing. It's frustrating for where we are as a team. Every position you have to look at." Now, pause right there. Did you catch that? The man's already making excuses for Dillon Gabriel before anyone even brought him up. He tossed in, "Let me say that with a young quarterback, you understand there's going to be ups and downs," as if to shield him from blame before the questions even started. Here's the real issue with Stefanski's excuse. Dillon Gabriel isn't showing ups and downs. He's showing downs and more downs. There's no spark, no growth, no glimpse of greatness between the messes. It's been the same tired story every single week. Missed throws, bad reads, and no sign that he's learning a thing. There's no progress here, just a steady decline dressed up as development. Then came the question that hit like a sledgehammer. A reporter asked, "Do you feel like this wide receiver core is good enough for you to get an accurate evaluation of whoever plays quarterback?" Now that question might sound simple, but it's a dagger. What the reporter was really saying was, "Coach, are your receivers the problem? Or is it time to admit your quarterback just isn't it?" Basically, a polite way of asking if Shedeur Sanders deserves his shot. Stefanski's answer was interesting, to say the least. He said, "Yeah, I need to do a better job. Obviously, Jerry needs to get the football, but we have to do a better job." That sounds noble, right? A coach taking accountability, but look closer. He didn't defend Gabriel at all. Not once did he say, "Our quarterback played fine." He didn't blame the receivers or the scheme either. Instead, he lumped himself, the play calling, and Gabriel all into one big pile of "we've got to be better." That's coach code for "I know this thing is falling apart." When a head coach starts repeating "I need to do a better job" over and over, it's not leadership, it's survival mode. Then came the moment that made everyone in that room lean forward. Another reporter hit Stefanski with a question that had the whole place holding its breath. When you say you're looking at every position, are you doing enough with the quarterback position? Do you need to do a better job there? Now that's about as close as a journalist can get to saying, are you finally going to bench Dillon Gabriel and give Shedeur Sanders a shot, without actually saying it out loud?
Obviously, just didn't do anything good enough today. Frustrated.
Stefanski froze for a second. You could see the tension all over his face. He took a deep breath, looked down, and finally said, "I think I know the answer is yes." Boom! That's the kind of line that sends shockwaves through an organization. The head coach of the Cleveland Browns just admitted in front of cameras that he knows change is needed at quarterback. He didn't say, "Dillon's our guy." He didn't say, "We believe in him." He didn't even fake confidence. He flat out confirmed what every fan in Cleveland has been shouting for weeks. This situation isn't working. When a coach publicly admits, even subtly, that the quarterback spot needs to be better, that's basically the NFL version of writing the breakup letter. And when reporters pushed further, asking directly about Dillon Gabriel's performance, Stefanski tried to slide back into his safe zone. He dropped the classic line, "It's a team game. We'll win as a team, we'll lose as a team." Credit to them, they did a good job. We have to find a way to stay on the football field, stay out of third down. But come on, you can hear the hesitation in every word. That's not confidence, that's damage control. That's a coach who knows the media smells blood and the fans are done waiting. Stefanski kept talking, saying, "If we're in third down, we have to convert." But listen closely. Notice what's missing. There's no defense of Dillon Gabriel anywhere in that answer. No, he made some good throws. No, he's progressing. Not even a fake compliment to soften the blow. The silence around Gabriel's name was louder than anything else in that room. Stefanski's hiding behind generic team talk because deep down, he knows he can't defend what he just watched. All throughout the press conference, he kept circling back to the same empty lines. We have to look at everything. We have to be better in every area. We have to examine what we're doing over and over again. That kind of repetition isn't by accident. It's the classic coach panic playbook. When a coach stops standing behind specific players and starts talking in vague "we" statements, you can bet big changes are brewing behind the scenes. That kind of language screams that the front office is about to shake things up. New depth chart, new lineup, maybe even a new quarterback under center. The bye week isn't going to be about rest for Cleveland, it's going to be about reckoning. Hard choices are coming and everyone in that locker room knows it. Then came the most revealing part of the night. A reporter asked Stefanski straight up about how he plans to evaluate players during the bye week. That last line from Stefanski said it all. "We like the guys we have. Notice what's missing? There's no 'we love our quarterback room.' No, 'we're confident in Dillon Gabriel moving forward.' Just a flat, generic, 'we like the guys.' That's coach code for 'I'm not committing to anyone right now.' It's the safest, most non-committal response possible. And it's a big sign that the door is now wide open for changes, especially at quarterback. The patience is gone and the excuses have run dry. Now let's get into the cold, ugly truth, the numbers, because they're even worse than that lopsided final score. The Cleveland Browns finished this game with just 213 total yards of offense. Let that sink in, 213 yards in a full NFL game. That's not just bad, that's historically awful. Against a Patriots defense that's far from elite, this offense looked like it forgot how to function. These aren't college stats, these are professional athletes, paid millions to produce that. It's embarrassing. The rushing game was non-existent, putting up just 68 total yards all night. They couldn't move the chains to save their lives, converting only 12 first downs through 4 quarters. That's not struggling, that's being completely shut down. And the third down numbers? Pure pain. They went 2 for 11, which is an abysmal 18% conversion rate. That means 9 drives died before they even got going. It got so bad, they started going for it on 4th down just out of desperation and still failed, finishing 1 for 3 on those tries. Now here's the kicker. They only gave up 1 sack the entire game. The Browns' stat sheet from this game reads like a crime scene report: 4 punts, 5 penalties, and 2 brutal interceptions that we already talked about. Add all that up, and it tells you exactly how the Patriots completely took control. They held the ball for 37 minutes, dictating the pace, controlling the rhythm, and forcing Cleveland's defense to stay on the field until they were absolutely gassed. When you lose the time of possession battle that badly, you're not just losing the game, you're setting your defense up to fail. No defense on earth can play perfect football for 4 quarters when the offense keeps handing the ball right back. That's not strategy, that's sabotage. This was straight up ugly football from top to bottom. No sugarcoating, no excuses. It was a disaster in every sense. The offense, ugly. The play calling, ugly. The quarterback play, don't even start. It was downright painful. Everything that could go wrong did, and the result was one of the most embarrassing performances the Browns have put on in years. And here's what really stings for Cleveland fans who've been suffering through decades of quarterback heartbreak. This wasn't about getting outclassed by some elite powerhouse. The Patriots are sitting at 5-2, yeah, but they're not some unstoppable machine. They're just a disciplined, well-coached team with a young quarterback who's improving every week. Nothing flashy, nothing magical, just execution. Cleveland isn't lacking talent. They've got weapons everywhere and a generational pass rusher in Myles Garrett who just delivered a historic 5-sack performance. But talent doesn't matter when your quarterback play is this bad and your coaching is this confused. Garrett showed what greatness looks like, but no amount of individual brilliance can save a team when the offense can't even function. The Drake-May comparison makes it even harder for Browns fans to swallow. You've got two young quarterbacks, both in their first full seasons as starters, both still figuring it out, but the difference between them was night and day. May looked calm, precise, and in total control. A true franchise quarterback in the making. Meanwhile, Dillon Gabriel looked like a backup pretending to be a starter, completely overwhelmed by the moment. Watching those two share the same field under the same conditions only magnified how far apart they really are. And that brings us right to the question, Cleveland can't keep dodging. What about Shedeur Sanders? How long can this team keep ignoring the obvious? You've got a young, talented quarterback sitting on the bench, a player with poise, confidence, and a skill set that could actually spark life into this offense. He's been patient, respectful, and waiting for his chance while the whole season burns around him. So, when does that chance come? When do you finally say enough is enough and give the kid a shot? How much longer can this organization keep defending a failed plan just to save face? Pride can't win games, production can. The bye week couldn't come at a better time for Cleveland because it's decision time. At this point, there's absolutely no reason to keep trotting out Dillon Gabriel if he's not improving or showing even a flicker of hope for the future. This is the perfect moment to give Shedeur Sanders a real shot, real first-team reps, real in-game opportunities, and a real chance to show what he's capable of. The season's already spiraling, so what's there to lose? Sometimes you have to gamble on potential when the present keeps disappointing you. And let's be honest, Kevin Stefanski's job is hanging by a thread. You could see it written all over his face during that press conference. The slumped shoulders, the heavy sighs, the empty coach speak. This is a man who knows the walls are closing in fast. Every "we have to be better and we'll look at everything" was him trying to buy time. But the truth is, he knows the front office is watching every move, and ownership isn't exactly patient right now. Coaches don't survive 2 to 6 starts with this much talent on the roster. Not in Cleveland, not anywhere. Unless something changes immediately, Stefanski's clock is ticking loud enough for everyone to hear. The fans are demanding answers. The media is circling like sharks, and even his own words hint that he knows big moves have to happen soon. Dillon Gabriel has had more than enough chances to prove he's the guy, and he's failed that test again and again. The sample size is big enough now. The evidence is loud, clear, and impossible to ignore. He's not growing, not improving, and not even showing those maybe he'll figure it out flashes that young QBs usually get. Every game feels like deja vu. Same mistakes, same missed reads, same panic under pressure. He's not trending upward. He's dragging the whole team down. He's been consistently mediocre at best and flat out bad at worst, making brutal errors when it matters most. Meanwhile, you've got Garrett, one of the best defensive players in the league, in his absolute prime, watching his dominance go to waste on a losing team. That defense is playing good enough to win, but they're stuck carrying an offense that can't even stay on the field. Cleveland fans have been patient, painfully patient, but they're running out of reasons to believe. The city's starving for a spark, something, anything to believe in. And the crazy part? That spark is already sitting right there on the bench. Shedeur Sanders, a young, hungry quarterback who's been nothing but professional, waiting quietly for a real chance to prove himself. The math here couldn't be simpler. Make the change. You're 2-6, the season's slipping away, and the future's sitting on the sideline. If Kevin Stefanski comes out of the bye week and still rolls with Dillon Gabriel like nothing's wrong, if we hear more of that same "we're developing, we're being patient" nonsense, then Cleveland's front office needs to wake up and start asking hard questions. At that point, Stefanski isn't coaching to win. He's coaching to protect his ego. He's trying to avoid admitting he was wrong about his quarterback, and that's a dangerous game. That's not leadership, that's self-preservation. And winning teams don't operate like that. Kevin Stefanski needs to get real, now. He's got to sit down with his coaching staff and have some brutally honest conversations about what's working and what's straight up falling apart. No more sugarcoating, no more "we'll see after the bye." It's time to watch the tape with open eyes and ask the tough question. Is Dillon Gabriel really giving this team the best chance to win? Or is this whole thing just pride and stubbornness holding Cleveland back from trying something new? And that something new might just be Shedeur Sanders. Giving him a real shot, real first-team reps, real game action could finally breathe life into an offense that's been flatlining for weeks. This isn't just about making a switch for the sake of drama. It's about giving the team hope. Sometimes the best thing a coach can do is admit that plan A isn't working, scrap it, and pivot to plan B before the entire season goes down in flames. But here's the problem. Time's running out fast. The clock's ticking louder by the week, and everyone in Cleveland can hear it. That press conference, that ugly loss, that miserable quarterback performance, it all feels like a breaking point. This is the kind of moment that defines a season, and possibly a coaching career. The Browns are standing at a crossroads. Either they make bold, meaningful changes and try to salvage something from this wreck, or they keep pretending everything's fine and watch the whole thing collapse in slow motion. After what went down in New England, and after hearing every word Stefanski said and didn't say, it's crystal clear he knows deep down that changes must happen. Either way, this saga is far from over. The next chapter in Cleveland's chaos is about to get wild, and you're not going to want to miss a second of it. What happens next could completely flip this franchise on its head. Will Kevin Stefanski finally wake up and make the move everyone's waiting for? Or will he keep riding with Dillon Gabriel until the whole thing goes up in flames? And most importantly, will Shedeur Sanders finally get his moment to step in and rewrite the story himself? This isn't just another football storyline. This is a full-on drama playing out in real time, and it's about to explode. So if you want to stay locked in on every twist, every leak, and every hint from inside the Browns locker room, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update. And drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think deserves that QB1 spot in Cleveland? I want to hear it all. Keep those bells on, because this quarterback storm is just getting started, and I'll be covering every wild turn. Like always, stay tuned, shake off the noise, and I'll see you in the next one. And possibly a coaching career. The Browns are standing at a crossroads. Either they make bold, meaningful changes and try to salvage something from this wreck, or they keep pretending everything's fine and watch the whole thing collapse in slow motion. After what went down in New England, and after hearing every word Stefanski said and didn't say, it's crystal clear he knows deep down that changes must happen. Either way, this saga is far from over. The next chapter in Cleveland's chaos is about to get wild, and you're not going to want to miss a second of it. What happens next could completely flip this franchise on its head. Will Kevin Stefanski finally wake up and make the move everyone's waiting for? Or will he keep riding with Dillon Gabriel until the whole thing goes up in flames? And most importantly, will Shedeur Sanders finally get his moment to step in and rewrite the story himself? This isn't just another football storyline. This is a full-on drama playing out in real time, and it's about to explode. So if you want to stay locked in on every twist, every leak, and every hint from inside the Browns locker room, make sure you smash that subscribe button, hit the like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single update. And drop your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think deserves that QB1 spot in Cleveland? I want to hear it all. Keep those bells on, because this quarterback storm is just getting started, and I'll be covering every wild turn. Like always, stay tuned, shake off the noise, and I'll see you in the next one.